All right, folks, this is what you've been waiting for. We are pairing Taco Bell's new jalapeno Pinot Noir with their toasted cheesy chalupa. And if you are watching this on the replay, please in the comments below, type the word replay. I want to know who's catching this on the replay versus who's here with us live. So as I said, this is a live test taste. Taste. Guess it works either way. Between this new wine that Taco Bell launched. It's an Ontario winery who produced it, and their extra toasted cheesy chalupa taco. Oh, it smells so good. Oh my goodness. So let me log in here now and see if some of you have started to join me. All right. So please tell me where you're logging in from and what's in your glass, if anything. Have you tried the new cheesy chalupa or the wine? I suspect not the wine because it sold out in 11 minutes from the winery's website and in less than a day from Taco Bell. That is how popular it is. But I hear more is on the way. So please, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, as I know some of you do, type the word replay. But if you're here with me live, type live so that I can see who's joining me. So this is, let me give you some background first on the Taco Bell project, if you will, because I have spoken to both the winery and members or people from Taco Bell to get some background on what this was all about. Hey, we're getting some likes already. All right, Don, Darren, Jen, and Mike are all here. Guys, have you had a Taco Bell taco? Yes, Olivier. Okay, Olivier's from Montreal. Yes, Olivier from Montreal. So yeah, kudos to whomever named this wine. Jalapeno Noir. It's a Pinot Noir. Jalapeno, get it? That is so clever. And up here, it's from Cheesy Chalupa Estates. But I have to tell you, don't go to Niagara searching for Cheesy Chalupa Estates. You will not find it, nor will you find a Taco Bell winery. I'm going to tell you who made this wine, but you have to stay tuned. Stay with me. But yeah, I just think that is so clever. But there's more surprising things about this wine. I have not tasted it, so this is going to be a live unboxing, if you will, or well, it's got a screw cap, so it's not a live unscrewing, but it's going to be a live tasting. I have not tried this wine before. I've never tried it before. I have tried wines from this winery, though, before. So any guesses from you as to what it might taste like? No jalapenos were made or were lost or used in making of this wine. It has no jalapenos in it. All right, Lorraine is here from North Toronto. When I first heard about this wine, I thought it was a joke. I did too, Lorraine. I thought, oh, yeah, this is clever. Just like, you see that meme on the internet that's got Chateau Car Bordeaux, as in Bordeaux, Car Bordeaux for boxed wine. So I thought, something like that. Or at least if this is real, they've probably used some sort of boxed wine or an international blend or whatever. But I was really surprised that they went not only with an Ontario wine, but it's a single vineyard Pinot Noir. Now, in the hoity-toity, fancy-pants world of wine, a single vineyard expression of Pinot is quite specific, coveted, usually a mark of quality. Hey, Don is here, live from the Boston area. No, it's really unlikely that I'll have the toasted, yeah, maybe we should say TBC, toasted cheesy chalupa, TCC? Maybe I'll just say chalupa. It really is a mouthful to say and to eat. But this sounded amusing, and I'm curious to hear about the wine. Gotta love the marketing tech. The marketing is brilliant. Okay, so my background, I used to work at Procter & Gamble on the food brands like Crisco, Pringles, Duncan Hines, etc. And came from, an MBA prior to that. So I am absolutely fascinated by the marketing. I think it's genius. I'm hoping that this holds up and it doesn't fall apart in the mouth, so to speak. Bill is here from Bracebridge. No now drinking black Cabernet from East Dell. Excellent. Bill, have you had a taco lately? Andrea's here from Ottawa. Hello, Andrea. I agree. Definitely a witty combination. Christine Elder Archer is here from Mississauga. Hello, you're drinking the Wayne Gretzky Chardonnay. Well, well, well. To be extra thorough, Christine, I am also going to taste test this with a buttery Chardonnay from Wayne Gretzky. Heck, it's hockey player stuff, right? You'd think tacos and beer, not tacos and wine, or tacos and a margarita, but tacos, not just wine, but Pinot Noir. Why not Cabernet? And we're going to try that. We're also going to try the Jackson Triggs Bourbon barrel-aged Merlot. I didn't have a Cabernet on hand. You know that I teach this in my wine and food pairing course. And if you're curious about that, speaking of marketing, you can sign up below at nataliemaclean.com/class to take a free one to find out more about that. But in my full wine and food pairing classes, we go into wine and cheese pairing. And the classic pairing for cheddar is often a Cabernet Sauvignon, because they both have very strong, pungent flavors. There's a lot of salt in the cheese, a lot of deeper nuances. And then in a Cabernet, you get the tannins and the blackberry and the black fruit and everything else. So they're like a full-on kind of combination. And so I was curious why they didn't choose a Cabernet for this, a Pinot. Anyway, Jen, I'm weirdly excited for this. So am I, Jen. Stephen Weinstein is here live. Hello, Stephen. All right. Let me just keep going down here. Oh my gosh, lots of people here. Deb is here from Vancouver. Happy Sunday to you too, Deb. Adele Ashby. Jalapeno Noir. Are there notes of spice? I am going to tell you in a moment. Adele and Don. Love it. Okay, cool. So, as I do with all of my wine and food pairing classes, we always try the wine first, then we go to the food, have a taste of that, then back to the wine to see how the food changed our perception of the wine and or the wine of the food. And that's a quick taste test you can do at home anytime. Try any wine, like take a Pinot, a Cab, anything, and taste it first. Then try a bit of the cheese, then go back to the wine. You will be amazed what happens to your perception of the cheese, or of the wine, sorry. The wine hasn't changed, but you have, and your taste buds have. Jim Clark is here from Canada, and Gilman is here. Gilman, where are you logging in from? Please let me know where you're logging in from, if there's a wine in your glass. Have you ever tried a Taco Bell Pinot, or Taco Bell Pinot Noir, a Taco Bell taco, or well, I should reveal first of all who made this winery. Any guesses as to who made this wine? Let me tease that out a bit further. But what I expected too. Okay, so they went with single vineyard, Ontario local, for a local promotion, an Ontario-based promotion. That is smart. But here we have the label, which looks like sort of tuxedo fancy. You've got the black and the white and a bit of gold. It's very, luxe. It's not, cheesy. I mean, it's very elegant presentation. And the back label stuff is just, someone was drinking too much Pinot Noir. I gotta put on my specs here. This isn't just a wine you're holding. This is what happens when you paddle out to meet the ever-crashing wave of time and hang 10 inside the barrel of creation. Stay with me. This is a pairing made by fate. Wow, a little bit too much Pinot Noir there. But we often get purple prose on the back of labels, so why not just go for it all the way? Patience gave the toasted cheesy chalupa its sumptuous depth of flavor and crisp, alluring texture. Persistence suffused this wine with notes of wild strawberry, cherry, and beetroot. It gave it spice. It made it smell vaguely of leather. And it turned it awesome. So take your time and enjoy them together. Fate never tasted so good. And back label purple prose never had it so purple. But you gotta love it. You're gonna do something serious? I mean, in terms of prose. All right. Michael says, enjoying a Côte de Rhône, watching this interesting tasting with aged Cheddar, watching from Southwest Florida. You folks don't have a wine yet, but I hear from the Taco Bell folks, maybe in the future, you never know, but it's rolling out here first. And drum roll, please, Don Dawson has guessed the correct winery. It is Queenston. Queenston Winery, which is a little boutique micro winery. I mean, if you've joined me here before on Facebook Live, I've described their Pinot Noir with the technical term amazeballs. None of this is paid promotion, by the way. I want to clear that up in case anybody's wondering. There's no paid whatever with Taco Bell, with Queenston, or whatever. But I order Queenston Pinot Noir for my personal pleasure. That's my go-to wine. So anyway, there you go. That's all the free promotion you're going to get. So let's try the jalapeno noir. Okay. Well, pours nicely. Cool. All right, so I've got my big ass glass for Pinot. Nice sort of ruby, sort of. Oh my gosh. That is the signature Queenston Pinot that I love. It's making my mouth water, like the toasted cheesy chalupa did earlier. All right, let's give it a try. So to answer your questions, what does it smell like? It smells divine. It smells like kind of like the back label. Maybe I'm just under the power of suggestion here, but I don't think so. I've tasted enough wines in my time, in 20 years of writing about wine. So I do get the spice, the dark spice, a little bit of cranberry, some wild raspberry. Yes, Creekside is the winemaker. It's Rob Powers at Creekside, and Creekside owns Queenston. Fabulous winemaker of 20 years, one of the most respected producers in Canada. So again, kudos, I gotta say, to Taco Bell for going with this little boutique winery instead of like a huge company to make this wine. Andrew Johnson, maybe crack open a bottle of Petit Village from Pomerol. Too young, but like to try one of my next Bordeaux Futures. There you go, Andrew. All right. Okay, let's get on with this. Beautiful, beautiful nose. Okay. Wow. That's good. I wanted to hate this wine. I wanted to hate the whole pairing. This is only $25, so other wines, other Pinots from this winery and elsewhere tend to be higher priced. I don't know how they got it down to 25, but they did. Admittedly, the ones that I've purchased in the past, around 40, are more complex, but this is not a simple wine. It's beautiful. It's silky. It's medium-bodied. It's got that dark spice, little cherry berry action on the side. It's got the acidity. It's whetting my appetite, literally. Thanks, Stephen. Love the glass. Where'd you get that from? Okay, try to stay on topic here, Lorraine. I'm kidding. This is, again, no paid promotion here, but Zolto, I like it because it's nice and light. But for the Cabernet and Chardonnay that I'll be taste testing later, I'm going to go with more of that tulip-shaped glass. But remember Gary Vaynerchuk back in the day on Wine Library TV used to say he had his big-ass glass? This is mine. So you want a big bowl for Pinot Noir to capture the aromas. Jen, was this wine available from Taco Bell or available at the LCBO? So, Jen, the story is that it was only available from Taco Bell in select locations in Hamilton and Toronto. It sold out in less than a day. And it was available from the Queenston Winery website, and it sold out on there in 11 minutes. Now, they are making more, but I find that just incredible. Just incredible. People are obviously curious and needing a wine for their tacos. But, I've long believed, too, in what I call shabby chic combos. Jeans and rhinestones. Dress it up, dress it down. And as you know, you might have caught one of my segments on CTV's The Social. That's the afternoon daytime show that's kind of like The View. And we've done fast food and wine pairings before, and they really work. Because what's happening here is we've got a lot of bright fruit, juicy fruit, sort of mouth-watering acidity. And let's see how that interacts with what I expect to be the richness of the cheese and the fat, the salt, and so on. I'm explaining this in advance because I'm not going to talk while I'm eating. Y'all are going to have to talk amongst yourselves. You're welcome, Jen. Hey, Lori. Lori is here from Kingston. And Silvio's probably with her. Okay, so I'm going to taste this. I'm going to take a bite of that. I'm going to taste this again, and I'm going to come back to you. But there will be a little bit of a momentary pause in commentary. So find someone in the comments and comment on their comments. All right? That keeps the conversation going. Yeah, Deb, isn't it? All right. Here we go with the toasted cheesy chalupa. It smells, oh my God, so good. All right. Oh, that's good. I haven't had Taco Bell in 20 years. Not because I'm a snob. But it's just, there isn't one close by. I just don't think about it. But that's really good. Oh, I said no talking. Okay, let me do this. You know, that works. It's not the best wine pairing I've ever had, but it sure as heck doesn't fight. And the acidity really helps with the salt and the fat and the richness of this cheese. It's baked onto the outside, so it's crunchy and yummy. I don't know. I want to experiment with these other two wines because, you know, I am thorough with my research, my liver for the people. So we are going to explore a couple of other pairings. But, you know, I think that kind of works. Again, let me be thorough here. What happens to the wine? Okay. That's good. All right. Here we go. You know, I do think that's a good pairing. And I thought Pinot's going to be too light for this. It's just going to get overwhelmed. But, you know, this is, it's like you're eating it with a cheese dish. There is a bit of beef in there, but the flavors are fairly mild in the taco. They're not like fiery spice jalapeno. And, you know, that cherry berry liveliness and especially the acidity is just, it does what a good food pairing should do. So, you know, if you had the wine on its own or the taco on its own, they'd be good. But together, that's where the mouth magic happens, right? That's where you are lifted onto a cloud of new sensual pleasure. There's more purple prose for your back label. But they do make the other better. And what happens when you have a good wine and food pairing, it's just like everything else in wine and food. You don't satiate so quickly on one or the other because you've got a different taste and then a different taste and then the combo deal. And it just makes for a more interesting palette of flavors. It is the difference between just listening to the cello or just listening to the drums versus having the whole orchestra play in your mouth. All right, getting carried away with my own descriptions. All right, let's see now. Let's get back to your questions. Okay. Heather Proctor is in the house from Guelph. Hello, Heather. Andrea, yeah, I love that Pinot color. Isn't it lovely? I mean, just look at that. Just so pretty. Cool. All right, you're talking amongst yourselves. Excellent. You use Riedel glasses. Yeah, Riedel's good too. Is the food spicy? Not really. I mean, it's all relative, isn't it? I love really spicy food, really hot, spicy food. It makes me go red like I'm going now, but that's not from the taco. So it's all on a spectrum. If I were to put this on a spice scale, I'd say it was mild. Like, there's interest. There's a tiny little kick there that keeps it interesting. It's certainly not bland. But the taste I get more than spice is cheese, and I love cheese. Cheddar, especially. melted cheddar, crispy cheddar. All right. Donna Whitaker is in the house. Hi, Donna. What's in your glass tonight? All right. Andrea, is the cheesy chalupa very spicy? Oh, okay. Just address that. Good question. Lorraine, thanks for the wine glass recommendation. You are welcome. Donna, I missed the intro. Who makes the wine you just tasted? It is Queenston. Queenston. Little micro boutique winery in Niagara. Brills. Just brills on the marketing, I gotta say. Tracy, the mild sauce is tricky. Yes. So this does have mild sauce. Like a Big Mac has sauce. This sauce, though, I'm not finding, it's not sweet. As sweet as maybe in a Big Mac, which I also haven't had in 20 years. So you're not getting a lot of sweetness that would clash with the Pinot, which is nice. For me, the sauce is more like a mayo, so that's good. Jim Logan, hello. Never thought I would see a Taco Bell wine. Me neither, Jim. Tracy, the creamy cheese with a tiny kick. Pinot makes sense, doesn't it, Tracy? All right. Cool. And if you are interested in learning more about food and wine pairing, sign up for my free wine and food pairing class at nataliemaclean.com/class. The URL is right below me. Andrea, maybe you can post that URL in the comments if you don't mind, my dear. I'd really appreciate it. nataliemaclean.com/class so that people can just click on it, choose a day and a time that work for you. I'd love to see you in the class. We go over all kinds of fun pairings. All right. Gilman, I have problems pairing wine with spicy food. They normally do a disservice to the wine in most occasions. Yeah, Gilman, I agree. And that is especially for really spicy food like vindaloo, Indian dishes, or Tex-Mex that's off the charts. But this is pretty mild. In those cases, Gilman, I always say sweet meets heat. So take an off-dry wine with your extremely hot or spicy food, like an off-dry Riesling or something that has some sweetness to mellow out the heat. What you don't want is a dry, tannic, huge red wine, usually, with a very, very, very spicy, hot dish, because they're just going to do that in your mouth. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. What would you typically pair with cumin and chili powder? Good question, Tracy. So again, I look for things like off-dry. I kind of go with the whites on spicy foods. I find reds, you can get some problems with the tannins, that furry mouth feeling you can get when you eat walnuts or oversteep tea. You don't want that when you've already got a lot of heat in your mouth. You want something that's cool, so you chill your white wines that maybe has some sweetness to soften the perception of acidity and so on. You are welcome, Gilman. Okay, we are going to persist. We are not done in the interest of science. We're keeping it real here. I have got Wayne Gretzky's barrel-aged or whiskey barrel-aged Chardonnay, which I rated 90. It just came out in vintages this weekend. Let's give this a try. Wayne Gretzky does not make the wine. In fact, a portion of the proceeds from the sale of this wine go to his children's or his different charities. I think they're Children's Foundation. Again, turning the tables. And hey, these are, what are these? The end times? Crazy times, right? So why not go high-low with our pairings? Why not flip the wine world on its head? No one's getting fancy. Few of us are even getting out to restaurants that as much as we like or at all. So why not have some fun at home with pairings like these, right? Why not? So here's the Wayne Gretzky whiskey barrel-aged Chardonnay. So we taste the wine first, we go to the chalupa, and then we come back to the wine and see what's happened. I love that. Buttery, round, rich. So I'm looking to see if the buttery, round richness will go with the cheesiness. Cheesiness. I wanted to take a bigger bite, but the pause would be too long. think that works too. It's got acidity. The one thing is that I feel like with the Chardonnay, which is beautiful wine, we're layering butter on butter. You know, cheese is basically butter. Buttery in terms of the taste. So it's almost too similar. Whereas the Pinot has a bite that keeps it interesting. It's more of a contrast pairing. Whereas the buttery Chardonnay is, if you like with like just give me more of the same, please. That works. All right. Let me catch up with you folks. Good. Heather McIntosh is here. Cumin and chili powder, Riesling. Agreed. All right. Thank you, Andrea, for posting that. And Andrea, if you have the link to our tastings, I'm also going to have another Facebook Live tasting. I do them every second Wednesday at 7 p.m., not usually at this time slot. But we will be tasting live here again, 7 p.m. this Wednesday. And we're going to be pairing wine and tomatoes, tomato dishes, tomato sauces. Andrea, if you know the link to the calendar for those tastings, if you could post that as well. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, Adele, nice. Inniskillen late harvest autumn Riesling would be beautiful with spicy dishes. Yes, a late harvest Riesling, brilliant idea. Love that. Cool. Oh, I love how you guys are talking amongst yourselves. That's what I love. The kitchen, our virtual kitchen table conversation, right? Okay. Here's the thing, too. You're just bringing up residual sugar in the ice wine. When I talked to Queenston, most helpful Allison at Queenston, if you guys are here, please say hi. It's all good. This isn't a takedown. I thought, okay, well, have you made a wine that has more residual sugar, or did you really amp up the oak aging, or was it a blend of all the grapes you didn't want to use for something else? And no, as I said, it's a single vineyard expression on St. David's Bench in Niagara-on-the-Lake. They only have 9 acres, tiny, tiny micro boutique winery. This is actually drier than some of their other Pinots, so it's bone dry. So they're not playing to, just sweet and cheap. And as I say, it's not the leftovers. It's deliberately made from a single vineyard. All right. Fernando is here. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be here this coming Wednesday. Ha! There's Queenston. They finally come out. Now that I haven't trashed the pairing, they're here. Yay! So you can ask Queenston any questions you have. I don't know if it's Allison who's driving the Queenston handle tonight. Maybe Rob Powers, I'm not sure. But if you have questions, put them in the comments. They're here. Maybe the Taco Bell people are here. Maybe they're shy. I'm not sure. But Taco Bell people, come on out if you're here. Okay, now let's go. As I said, I wanted to do a Cabernet, but I didn't have one on hand. So I'm doing what I consider the next best thing, a Merlot. And I'm keeping it all Canadian. So this is Jackson Triggs Bourbon Barrel Aged Merlot. And it's also from Niagara-on-the-Lake. So let's give this one a try. Because classic match for cheddar is a robust red. Not usually your light reds. But let's see. Let's be scientific. Beautiful nose. Oh, dark berries, dark plums, fleshy ripe. And you can get the, sort of the toffee edge with the toffee finish of the bourbon barrels. That's trendy these days, right? Everybody's aging in, not everybody. Some wineries are aging in whiskey barrels from Canada or bourbon barrels from Kentucky, which is American whiskey, to get that caramelized finish. Lovely. I'm sensing some tannins right up front. Yeah. Bit of mouth puckering, but really lovely wine. Some caramelization on the finish. I'm loving that. Okay, back to the Merlot. pretty good. I'd put that as first runner-up in terms of pairing. Not in terms of wine quality. This is a very good wine again. But here's the thing. This has that sort of bourbon caramel. So you've got that lovely sort of sweet edge to it. I don't think that's needed. I think what's needed is a counterpoint of a biting Pinot Noir. And when I say that, don't take that the wrong way. This lovely Pinot, but it's got a sort of nervy edge to it, like, you know, a good dinner party guest kind of makes comments where everybody at first might say, and then gets into the conversation because it's really interesting. So I would put that as first runner-up, and second runner-up would be the Wayne Gretzky, because butter on butter makes a good pairing, but not the most interesting pairing. The color of the Merlot is beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's dark. This is a rich robe, rich, dark red robe. Love saying robe. Beautiful, beautiful nose. And I also asked the folks from Taco Bell what glass to serve it in. I thought, what are they doing with glassware at Taco Bell with this wine? And they, in true savvy marketing tradition, told me that they leave that up to guests, so you can dial it up or dial it down. So this would be dialing it up, and something like this would probably be dialing it down, larger version. Anyway, lest I be accused of being a Dixie Cup chick, but it's meant to be casual. And you know, I see lots of articles by wine writers, including myself, sommeliers and so on, doing these high-low pairings between fast food or even candy and, you know, Halloween's coming up, and wine. So it's not like, horrors, what are they doing? I think it is, I don't know, I think democratizing is too big a word, but it is broadening the welcome mat or the welcome gesture to people to say, yeah, you don't need to have filet mignon with wine. And it's for everyday living. Like, we're getting down to being very practical these days at home, you know, and why not? Just why not, right? Jim Logan, I wonder if we'll ever see a golfer Dustin Johnson wine, Wayne Gretzky's future son-in-law. Wow. Mike Weir and several other pro golfers have labels. They do. Ernie Els, Greg Norman, the shark from Australia. Christine, I always dial it up. Yeah, me too. I like to dial it up, even if I'm wearing jeans and rhinestones. Queenston, we love saying cheesy chalupa. Rolls off your tongue like the wine. Good one. Steve, is the acidity of the Pinot Noir greater than the Merlot? Yes, and great point. And that's probably also why I think the Pinot works better. The acidity, at least the perceived acidity, I'm not talking technical specs here, of the Pinot, definitely more apparent, definitely makes my mouth water, you know, up and down the sides. So that would definitely be contributing to this pairing. Good point, Stephen. You're on fire tonight. Yes, and my cheeks. It's warm in here. All right. I love your comments, you guys. Okay, so going back, and then I'm going to share some other interesting stuff that I've learned about the wine and so on. But my goodness, this has just roared past, hasn't it? Already at the half-hour mark. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, I am going to make sure we have this calendar in case you don't know it. If you want to make sure you don't miss any future tastings, I have an electronic calendar, and you can, with just one click, add it to your calendar, whether you use Outlook, Google, all kinds of them, Yahoo. I've just posted the link. All you have to do is click and say follow the calendar, and you'll know all of our tastings, like when they're happening, and what the theme is. So this next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern is tomato dishes and wine. It's going to be a lot of fun. There won't be any tacos, but but it will be fun. And then you'll see other tastings come around. We do like Thanksgiving wines, you know, around that time and so on. But yeah, let me dive into what questions do you guys have about this wine and a wine pairing. Queenston is here, so please just post your questions. there were some surprising things they were telling me when I asked them about this. So let me see if I can share. They only made 116 cases, so of course, yeah, it's going to sell out, but still, I don't think anyone was expecting it. And the news went totally viral. Like, it was on NPR, so I listened to all the CBC. I listened to CBC, NPR, and BBC. You can kind of get a notion of my leanings here, but it was on all of the newscasts. It was on talk shows and all kinds of stuff. It's been everywhere. And apparently winemaker Rob Powers at Queenston has been on the phone constantly, taking interview questions. I think he was kind of finding it amusing that he's been in the business for 20 years and this is what goes viral. And someone asked, well, don't you think that's kind of selling out? You're a boutique artisanal winery. I say, no. I say, if this puts you on the map, all the wineries are struggling right now from COVID. And if this puts you on the map, if this gets people in the door, if this gets you more direct customers, go for it. I mean, wineries have had a tough time during COVID. So many of them had to close their tasting rooms for months and furlough, lay off people. For small wineries, they're not in the large liquor store chains. The restaurants closed down, they're major customers. And so they really had a heck of a time. And there's even estimates that up to 20 wineries in Niagara alone may close, and another 45 will, I think, dramatically reduce staff permanently. So it's been difficult. So if you can get this kind of a win and get people into your world and develop that direct consumer relationship, most importantly, so that you have a fallback for whatever happens in the future, because obviously everything is happening this year. It seems to be like Armageddon time. That's a good thing. So I do not sniff at a small boutique winery working with what we might perceive as a large fast food brand. Go for it, right? What else did they say? Yeah, so this is the 2018 vintage. It has lower sugar than previous vintages and similar acidity and alcohol. Their oak is from new barrels because they are a young winery, so they have a new barrel program. Yeah, let me come back to you. So I just find that fascinating. Absolutely. Adele, you want people to try your other wines. Yes, and this can be, back to my Procter & Gamble days, you always had your lost leader that got people into the grocery store. Usually it was Tide or another big brand because you wanted them to buy other things. And so, if this works as a loss leader, or even if hopefully they're making money on this wine, if it gets the more wine lovers into their universe, great. Hope I can see this later, driving with kids to relax, enjoy the night. Yes, Andrew, you can always watch a replay here, folks. And again, if you're watching the replay now, please still comment. I want to hear your comments or see them, because I will dive in throughout this week and respond to all the comments. I love when, even if you're not here live, you comment, and I can answer questions. I'm sure Queenston, probably Taco Bell, will be interested to hear what people are saying, because we're kind of doing a little bit of a live taste test right now. So there we go. Steve, for Queenston, what is the residual sugar of the Pinot? If low, is it at the level of non-fermentable sugars? Whoa. Stephen knows his stuff. He's also one of my students, although my students tend to range from beginners to intermediate up to about WSET 3. So if you're curious about that, please take a moment, join my class. NatalieMacLean.com/class is a free one to give you a taste. Tracy, we might all be mindful in supporting the smaller wineries right now. Order direct from them. Grateful for this time. You're welcome, Tracy. Deb, I wonder if other chains will follow suit, or if the winery plans to create another wine for Taco Bell, say for burritos. So they're holding their cards close to their chest. They're not announcing plans, but I am sure with the success of this, something's got to follow, whether it's more of this wine or other wines. I mean, I gotta believe when it sells out in less than a day, it's been a success. people are getting promoted. I heard Cracker Barrel is coming out with a wine. So, and there's a new book coming out. I think the writer is Vanessa Price. I just heard about this. It's called Big Macs and Burgundy, wine pairings for something. Not normal people, but for our times or whatever. So it's on trend. Hashtag it's on trend. Okay. Andrea, it's really awesome that it's sold through Taco Bell too. A new revolution for wine sales. Yes, good point. Many restaurants have adapted to selling wines with takeout meals. Always a plus, you bet. So while it was available, you could get this wine, I believe, through Uber Eats in Toronto and Hamilton until it sold out. Christine says, I say it won't be long for other chains to follow. Bet they'll be successful. Yes. And you know the adage in the restaurant business, maybe not the fast food or takeout restaurant business, is customers will eat you poor and drink you rich. The margin is all in the drinks. It certainly is at movie theaters, but at restaurants, think about it. The greatest markup usually is on your alcohol, your wine, your spirits, your beer, but also your water, your tea, your coffee. All of that is where the restaurant makes back the money it needs to pay overhead and staff and so on. Restaurants are a low margin business, usually 3 to 4%, which is just squeaking by. And so this time has been very hard for them. But it's the alcohol and other drinks that really support the business. Oh, I love all this. I love all your comments. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this up, but please feel free to keep the conversation going in the comments, because I will still be nipping in there to see what you are saying. I've loved this. Been one of the most fun tastings I've had. But just to recap, the Jalapeno Noir from Queenston Pinot Noir is, I say, a real winner with the toasted cheesy chalupa from Taco Bell. All right, guys, take care. And I will see you on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here. Let's talk tomatoes and wine. All right. Bye for now.